Hi, how you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
What?
Good afternoon.
Good. Good afternoon. What's your name?
Jennifer,
Jennifer. Nice meeting you here, and thank you for coming over. Where are you located?
Lagos,
Lagos. How old are you?
29.
29. So what's the question for today?
Okay, I have plenty of questions, but I'll start with this. In a situation whereby you get married, you were working before the marriage, and your husband asks you to stop working, and against your wish, you would want to work at least to have money for yourself, to do some certain things for yourself and probably for your family, and your husband asks you to stop working against you. What do you advise the woman to do?
The first thing is the man working when he asks you to stop working?
Yes, yeah, the man is working, he has something that he's doing that gives him money, but you know that we need to have our own money at least, not everything you ask the husband to give you, you know that.
Also, the question again it would be how much is the man making? Is he making enough to feed all the members of the family?
Probably yes.
Okay, let's just say in a situation where he has all the money to take care of you and the family, and he asks you to work. I think the first thing is you have to communicate with him what you think. That's one. First thing is one of the first thing women should do before actually getting them into marriage is to discuss how you want your marriage to be. What's your role, your responsibilities? If talk about the work, talk about the arrangement for the kids. These are things that you need to discuss in advance. So when you actually get married, you're all prepared, and whatever anything that happens is not doesn't look like a shocker. If the man is making enough money and he can feed you, and he wants you to stay at home, I think you should take it with joy. You understand? Technically, women are not built to work, but if you feel like you want to work and he's asking you to stay at home, then you could ask him to open some in-house business for you, like internet business, where you can do while you're home. You can also ask him to maybe open a store that's very close to the house for you.
Okay.
Um, these are things that you can discuss, and you can find a way to make him listen to you by not arguing and not disputing his first intentions of not wanting you to work. So I think the way you communicate to him will determine if he's going to consider your opinion or offer about working. It's always good for women to work to support their husband, but if the man insists, since he's the head of the home, it's also good to listen. It's one of the best ways to keep your marriage working.
Okay.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah. Another question.
Go ahead.
In a relationship, when you're in a relationship and the guy is always fond of comparing you to other girls, over every little thing you do, he compares you to other girls, like this one is working, this one is hardworking, this one wakes up by 5 and all that. Is that the right thing to do? What do you advise for the lady to do in that relationship? Because the comparison
See,
is too much.
the best way to address issues like that is the first time the man talks about things like that, you need to make him understand that it's something that you don't really like. Since it's a relationship, you can always stand your ground by saying, no, I don't really appreciate when I'm being compared. Just like I don't think you really appreciate if I compare you to Dangote or to Otedala or to one of his kids, right? So you
Yeah.
couldn't be comparing me to things. If there's any areas that you want me to improve, tell me, let me know. That way I can make arrangements and work towards improving myself. Yes, I like to be criticized, and positive one is good for everybody. But I don't want a comparison to other people because they have different lifestyle. The beginning is different from you. You're born at different time, a different day, different place. There are a lot of things that are so different about you guys. But you understand that you want the best for you, but comparison is not the best way. So you can put your feet down when it's still a relationship. And once the man understands that you don't like comparison, he makes one or two mistakes by saying it again. But if you're very emphatic and very strong about your opinions about that, it's going to eventually change if he really likes it.
Okay, what if in a situation whereby you always tell him I don't like this comparison and all that, and probably the next time he does that again, what do you advise the lady to do?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's men are going to make mistakes. Women too are going to make mistakes. If I say the first time because it's part of him, so he's going to do it again. But the first way you talk about it, the first time he talks about it, it will be the time where you start understanding that you're different. You shouldn't be talked to like that. And you have to give comparison. That's what if I compare you with Mr. A or Mr.
Other
B?
people.
You understand? Would you like it? And say, okay, you don't have a car. That guy has a car. He's even younger than you. Or that guy has a house or you don't have a house. I mean, that guy actually works more, you understand, and you work less. Would you like that? So, but rather than doing that, one of the things I can do is tell you there are some things we have to achieve, and we can have a designed plan to achieve those goals. You can advise me, but you cannot compare me. You can critique what I do that is wrong, but don't use it in a comparison. That's tell me what you want me to improve on, and I will sit down and look into those things and have a plan and how to improve on it. So the first thing is, if you don't want, just like I always tell ladies, that if you don't want your man to beat you or to lay his hand on you, the first time he tries it, vigorously reject it. Do everything
Okay.
within your power to stop him and say never, never, and ever. And if it has to, if it requires that you stop the relationship instantly, do that. And no amount of begging should allow you to go back. You understand? That's the only way a man understands not to touch you or to lay their hands on you. If they beat you the first time, they beg you and you went back, they're going to do it again. You understand? So, and they call people to come and beg you. You understand? They're going to do it again. But if you make them understand that when you start a relationship, one of the things that I would never tolerate is you laying your hands on me. The man understands that you're different and he's going to treat you the way you present yourself. So everything that you don't want, you have to start discussing it the moment you start the relationship.
Okay.
So it's the best way to put your feet down and have a proper policy in place for your relationship and it eventually leads to marriage. Any other
Okay.
questions?
Thank you. Yes. Okay. This question, something like
Good.
you are in a relationship with someone, let's say for a year, over 2 years or so. The person
Okay.
is good, person is hardworking, person is okay, like, but
Hmm.
one or two, because of one or two reasons, which probably you cannot even fathom, you start losing interest in that person. Maybe you saw someone else you like more than the person another, and this person you are with currently is good. He or she has not done you any wrong or anything. How do you leave the relationship without looking like you are wicked or you are hurting the person? Do you stay or do you just come out plain and leave instead of deceiving the person?
No, the best thing you need to do, once you see that your interest is not there, there's no need of waiting or deceiving the person because at the end of the day, you hurt yourself more. You're also going to destabilize the other person. One of the best ways to leave a relationship without causing major havoc is slowly disconnecting yourself through communications, slowly disconnecting yourself through meeting up. So let's say you and I are in a relationship, I'm with a relationship with somebody, and I don't want the person again. One of the things I'll start doing is if I go to his house, to a house like 5 times a week, I'll reduce it to 2 times. For the first 2 weeks, then I'll reduce it to 1 time. Then after then, I'm going to, if I call every day, I'm going to reduce it to 2 times. So slowly, I'll start disconnecting. So it's going to help him to start adapting, adjusting without any emotional trauma. Then with time, it's going to ask you, why you're not coming? What's going on? Then you're going to start giving different excuses. A smart guy will start understanding that you're changing. But nevertheless, he's not going to feel hurt than like if you have gone to him and say, no, let's end this relationship. That looks like a stab. And it's hot. Either it's men that make the statement or the woman that make the statement. The best way is slowly disconnecting, gently,
Okay.
slowly, and slowly and slowly. Eventually, you will understand that things are not the same anymore. Like if you guys actually get intimate once every week, you might reduce it to once every month. From there, you might start giving reasons that, oh, I'm not around. My parents want me to go to this and do that, and I will not be available. But that doesn't mean you won't show your. Eventually, you understand that you're gone. Then all of a sudden, you can just once it's gradually like that, you can stop picking up the calls. He calls you 3 times, you only pick up once. He calls you 10 times, you only pick up once. Then he may start coming, try to call people and say, what's wrong? You say, nothing's wrong, we're still okay. And you just make sure that you detach yourself slowly and gently. Eventually, he's going to lose interest in you. Eventually, he's going to understand and walk away. And at that point in time, you won't have hurt him that much. Like if you went straight to him and said, let's end it.
Okay, what if after sending all these signals and he doesn't want to leave, like he still loves you, still like
The
so
other
attached
option
and
is to move away from that location and change all your contacts.
okay.
You understand? Do not communicate that, hey, it's over, because it's going to go bad. But just
So
disappear for a period of time, 1 year, 2 years, and it's gonna start looking for somebody else.
so obviously anybody that start giving you this sign, whether a guy or a girl, you should know that the person is already losing interest.
100%. You understand? It's only if you don't like somebody, you can give all kinds of excuses. Once you
Okay.
want somebody, there will be no excuse. Even you will excuse other people for that person because you want the person, right?
Mhm.
So just like I said, if you love somebody, even if the person's house is very far, you find a way to get there. But if you don't want somebody, even if the house is just next door, it's gonna look so far from you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Is there another question?
No, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much for coming, Jennifer. It's nice seeing
Thank
you, and hopefully we talk again.
you.
Take care.
Okay,
Bye.